If you want a man to step up for you, if you want him to make you a priority and not just make you one, but actually choose to make you a priority, then this is the video for you. In it, I'm going to be sharing 5 steps, a 5-step process you can use so that he chooses to step up and make you a priority, or at worst, steps out of the way for the man that will. Don't forget as well, my book is now available. Make Him Yours, Beating the Odds of Modern Dating. 300 pages of dating wisdom is now available. And exciting news, is now available on Audible as well. So you can listen to my voice in the car, at the gym, while you're cooking, wherever you want. I'm not a big physical book person personally, so if you're an audiobook person, that is now there for you as well. All right, so you want to be his priority. These are the 5 steps that you need to take to make that happen. Step number 1 is check in with your own standards. And by this I mean, is this someone that you really, like your best self would choose that you want to be a priority for? Has this man shown he's in a place in life where he's willing and able to commit to someone? Commit to not just you, but anyone at all? Is he in that life position? Is this someone who has the traits your best self would choose? Or, you know, a lot of women come to me in this space where they say, I really want this guy. And I say, oh, why do you want him? And they'll say, oh, he really fits the type. You know, he's got the great job, or he's got the height, or he's really good looking. And when we actually dive into it, it's not traits that their best self would really choose. So make sure that you're not trying to grab a certain guy and make him yours just to fill your ego, when that's not actually going to create a great relationship for you. Check in with your own standards first and say, is this someone that my best self would really want to be a priority for? Number 2 is get clarity. It's really important. A lot of women come to me, they say, I want to be a priority, I want to feel better, I want to feel like I'm important, but men are very specific creatures. We often need specific instructions, and so to have that specificity, it's best if you have it first. And you do that by getting clarity on what being a priority for you actually looks like. So what I recommend is you grab a piece of paper, and even pause the video if you're really committed, and do this right now, is grab a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle, and on the left-hand side of the page, write some of the actions that being a priority would feel like for you, actions that would be important for you to feel like that. So for example, you might write, he calls me when he says he's going to call. I see him at least once a week. He doesn't date other women. He makes time for a date night. Whatever it is, put the actions all in the left column. Things that are important to you, actions he could take that will make you feel like you're a priority. And then in the right-hand column, what I want you to do is to write the needs that those actions meet. So for example, him, say, calling when he says he's going to call, that fills the need for security and the need for trust. So it's the calling is how it's presented, the trust is the need. Him saying, well, I'm not going to date any other women, that fills needs for both connection and trust. Him saying, I'm going to show up, again, that might be the need of safety or security. I want you to think about the underlying needs, right? And the reason we do this is because the needs, the underlying needs, those become your non-negotiables. Sometimes the actions might be negotiable. For example, he might say, well, instead of calling you once a day, could we do a longer call every 3 days? Right, the action might change, but the sense of security is still there. So get clarity first on the actions that you want. Again, if you haven't already, pause the video, write them down. And the needs, the underlying non-negotiable needs that those actions help you feel. Number 3, step number 3 is demonstrate you value yourself. The truth is, men prioritize things that they value. And so if you're not being prioritized by the man that you want at the moment, it means he's not currently valuing you. We've got to change that. You've got to shift that, and you've got to train him how to treat you, right? So you start that by showing him how you treat yourself. And the way you demonstrate you value yourself is by putting some of your stuff first. And this step 3, valuing yourself, is more and more important the lazier he's gotten. Right, so if he's really slacked off, if he's not making you a priority at all, this step is extremely important. By valuing yourself, you're taking your focus off of him and you're doing things for you. You're literally valuing the things that you like, that you want to do, i.e. valuing yourself. So that might be hobbies, it could be interests, it could be friends, it could be passions, it could be passion projects of yours. Whatever it is, you want that bit of space so that he can see you valuing yourself, and it builds up this kind of credit and attraction in his mind. And that way, when he comes to you, or even if you go to him, he has more motivation to value you because he's seen you doing it. He knows there's a boundary there. He knows there's a minimum standard he has to step up to. And he feels inspired to do that because he's seen you doing it first. So again, the lower priority he's made you, the more you've got to take this third step, get clarity, and then go, okay, I'm gonna have to step back and value myself, give him a bit of space to appreciate what he's missing here. And then ideally next, he comes to you, and that provides the perfect environment for step number 4. And step number 4 is to speak up. Such an important step in all relationships. And in this context, it's about speaking up on what being a priority looks like for you, which you can now do because you got clarity on it. So as I say, in an ideal world, you valuing yourself has seen him coming to you. His energy is now moving towards you in some way. This is obviously going to be a little bit different. If you've just started dating and he's not making you a priority, that's going to be a little different to if your husband is sitting on the couch every day playing video games. Nonetheless, there's a few basic concepts that you want to use when you speak up. Number 1 is soft words and ruthless action. We'll get in how to do that soon, but most women do this the other way around. They're really strong with their words and soft with their actions. You want it the other way around. The second piece is to respect his freedom. Right? So your job as a woman is to really listen for when a man's choosing to do these things versus when he's feeling forced to, and give him that freedom when he feels forced to. Because you don't want a man just complying for the sake of it. You want a man who wants to be there, who wants to choose to prioritize you. And this is very important because if you don't do this, it's going to breed resentment in the guy and the relationship's not going to last. So I've got the amazing 𝐸𝐸 back with me. We're going to do a couple of demos now on how this might look in a couple of different contexts. The first one, in this example, it's an early dating scenario. You've been on 2 dates. He had to cancel the third and he didn't call you when he said he was going to. And then on Saturday night, he calls you on short notice, asks for a third date. So this is how you might speak up and approach speaking up in that context.
Hello.
Hey, it's Mark. You free tonight?
Hey, I hadn't heard anything about you rescheduling during the week.
Yeah, that's why I'm giving you a call now.
Right. Look, can I be honest with you?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
I like you. And I want you to do whatever you want to do. It's fine. But, you know, from my perspective, you saying that you're going to call and then not calling and then calling me last minute doesn't really inspire confidence in me about you being someone that I would actually want to date. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, okay. What do you want me, or what do you want to do? What do you want me to do?
Well, I mean, you know, if this is something that you really want to do, why don't you take me out next weekend?
Free next weekend? Mm-hmm. Okay. How about 1 o'clock on Saturday?
Sounds good.
I'll talk to you then. I'll pick you up then. And here's how it might look if, for example, this is a long-term partner and he's been playing video games all the time, prioritizing video games. Here's how it might look in that context.
Hey, there's been something that I want to talk to you about. Is this a good time?
Sure, babe. Yeah, what's up?
Are you sure it's a good time? Because if it's not a good time, I don't want to chat about it now.
Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, what's up?
Okay. Can I be really open and honest with you?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay. So, I know that it's not your intent at all, but I guess from my perspective, when you play games like every night, it makes me feel upset and disconnected from you. And I mean, like, I would absolutely love if there was just even one night a week when there was no video games, we just talked and connected and actually spent some quality time together. Does that sound like something that you're interested in?
Do we have to?
No, no, we don't have to do anything. I don't want you to do anything that you don't want to do, that you don't choose to do. I'm not going to force that on you. But at the same time, I know that being connected is really important to me. And like it's something that I deserve. If that's not something that you want to do, you've got to let me know.
Okay, did you see what I mean there by soft words and ruthless actions? She's being open, she's being vulnerable, but you also get the sense that she's serious about her boundaries. The guy knows in that scene that, like, I do have freedom here and I can choose what I want, but my actions will also have consequences. And that's what you want the guy to be feeling. Which brings us to step 5, which is bring the hammer down. Bringing the hammer down means that your actions are serious. That eventually, it might be quick or it might be a little bit slower, but the hammer is coming down and the guy can feel it. The reality is people in life, not just in dating, but in life, will step up to a minimum standard and respect and value the thing based on where that minimum standard is. It's the same idea if you buy a car that you've worked hard for versus if you win a car, you're going to value the one you bought a lot more because you had to step up to a minimum, earn a minimum standard of money to get that car. So you're going to value it more, right? So as your actions come into place and as men start to feel your minimum standards and that hammer coming down with your actions, men will start to value and prioritize you more. Now, one thing I get asked a lot by clients is, well, how do you know how quickly to bring it down? Am I being too harsh on him, too strict? Am I using too many words, or did I not give him any warning and I brought the hammer down too quick and used too many actions? How do you find that balance mark? And look, a good guideline I'll give you is this. The more a guy has consistently invested, and the more he's been there for you, it's almost like he's built up credit in the bank. And so the more credit a guy has, the more he's been consistent with his efforts, the more he's been in your life showing up, the more you would use words. The newer a guy is, the more you rely on actions. So in a practical sense, what this means is that if you've just met a guy online and you've texted like 3 times and then he doesn't call when he says he's going to, you're far less likely to use many words with that guy. Right? At most, he might get 1 text and that's it. And then the actions come down, you just stop replying. Trying to explain your standards through big text online is no one wants to do that. It's exhausting and ridiculous. You wouldn't do it. Actions. Whereas if you've been married to someone, you might go to months of counseling, right, to try to sort that out before you break off the marriage. So again, the longer you've been with someone, the more someone's built up that credit, the more the hammer comes down slowly and you give people the opportunities, give a man the opportunities by using words. So as that hammer comes down, whether it's quickly because a guy hasn't built up much credit with you, or slowly because he has had credit in the past and he has invested in you, it's the hammer coming down, it's you being clear on what you want and what you need, it's you valuing yourself and you speaking up about it. You're encouraging him to be clear. He's either going to choose to prioritize you or he's going to step out of the way for the man that will.